Hey, everybody, great to be back with you. Today, in our first reading, we hear, I think, a really good reminder for us as human beings. It says that this is from the book of Wisdom, and it says that God formed man to be imperishable. The image of his own nature, he made him. But by the envy of the devil, death entered the world, and they who are in his possession experience it. So, it's a good reminder for us because it helps us to remember that God did not make death. There's another part of the Old Testament that says, God did not make death, and nor does he delight in the destruction of the living. That God doesn't want us to die. He made us to be imperishable like him. But because of the envy of the devil, so think about it this way, the envy of the devil comes out in the garden where the evil one, the serpent, tempts Eve to take from the tree of the fruit with the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. And through that, then sin enters the world, and sin is introduced, and sin cuts us off from God, the source of life, and so through sin, death. That's how, and Satan is envious of human beings because of God's great love for us, for the great dignity he has accorded to us as human beings, for making us in his nature. And so it's important for us to understand that even in the midst of our own sorrows and grief, maybe we've lost a loved one, and that's a hard thing to deal with, and that's never easy. But it wasn't God who chose that for the human race. But what it does say is that the souls of the just are in the hand of God. The souls of the just are in the hand of God, and no torment can touch them. That reading is oftentimes read at funerals, saying that those who are just in this life, those who really desire holiness and seek after God, that God brings them to himself when they do die, that they're not really dead, but they are living in him, eternal life. And that's what Jesus came to give us. And so what is that? What message is there for us in that? I think it tells us that there is, in a sense, a certain duty we have as human beings. And really, since we all have that stain of original sin, this tendency towards sin in life, like, to me, I think about it sometimes like a medical condition. Like, I've got a disease, and that every day I have to take my medicine. So I have this disease that sometimes sin looks good to me, that I want to do the things I shouldn't do. And so I have to take my medicine and I want to pray every day to improve my contact with God, to be in communion with him. That I want to make good use of the sacraments, going to Mass and making use of the sacrament of reconciliation so that I can be reconciled with God. That I want to pray the rosary every day to have a great connection with our Mother Mary, who brings us closer to God, and that I want to be protected from evil. So I say prayers that are our prayers of protection as well. All of these things kind of add up to this sort of plan, a medical plan, if you will, of that helps me to stay in the sunlight of God's Spirit and to stay connected with him each and every day. And that's what we're called to do. You know, we have to realize that we're not on even plain ground here on earth. But God is always searching for us and sending his graces for us. The only thing we have to do is reach out and ask. Let's ask the Lord today for his grace to be more abundant in our lives.